Hi folks, you might think this is sacrilege, but I'm going to paint an oil, or have a go at an oil painting over this watercolour, probably from about 3 years ago. It's okay, it's alright, a bit weak. It's not what I would do now, I don't think. But anyway, I'm going to use a cadmium yellow pale, some white, some Griffin white mixed with some Winton student quality paint, just so that it all helps to dry a bit. So just get a bit of a mix with a palette knife. Some cadmium red, some ultramarine blue, and black. So three colours with black and white. There's always a bit of a controversy about using black. Did the Impressionists use it? Well, yes, they did. Manet certainly did. I think black is a wonderful colour. I've got a cup of tea here. I'm going straight in on this, I think this is Bockingford, from a spiral Langton block, 16 by 12. I've not primed it, I'm just going to go straight in and cover it up. I'm using a bit of flow medium, and I want to put a dark blue and red. So let's just blast it out of the VR. I'm using also some walnut oil mixed with a bit of alkyd, just to help it all dry. I'm primarily going to use the black for making greens with the cadmium yellow pale. I don't want to go right to the edge, because if this works out, okay, I'll put a mount around it and we'll have a look to see, but it'll probably stick. Now the light is shining on that bit there. I'm making that a little bit too thin, but let's get some more red, more blue, a bit of white, just to cover. If you use the £90 weight for this, it will soak right through, and you probably will have difficulty sticking it to a board if you wanted to frame it like an oil painting. The flow medium just helps it flow, yet maintain the intensity of the colour. Okay, so there's plenty of oil on that, so we'll, that's the basic sky. It won't be like that, I mean, I'm not going to, I want to put a bit of some rural greens, but I want some light on the horizon there, so a bit of red, a bit of yellow, a bit of flow. So how quickly you can cover with this flow medium, and a bit of walnut oil as well, with a bit of alkyd resin. This will probably dry matte to start with, because the oil will soak right in. I'm wearing an apron. I'm using all sorts of cheapo brushes. Look, I've had them years, some of these. Cheap Chinese. Oh, not quite so cheap. Oh, let's just put that there. Just to hold that. Let's clear the back. Stop it rattling. Right, okay, now I'm going to change the brush. We want some black, a bit of flow medium, or a bit of yellow. Quite a low horizon. It's a sky I want to make something up. You can use a bit of, whoops, picked up a lot of black now, a bit of blue as well with the black, plenty of the yellow, mix a bit of red in with it. And I can paint down to that. So just a nice background. Seeing how far you can go with a very, very limited palette. Some of those I want a bit larger. Those trees. Let's offset. Don't put your biggest tree in the middle. Keep focal points away from the middle. Otherwise, it anchors the viewer to one part of the picture and stops them from, from working around the picture. Their eyes go straight to the middle, and then, well, boring. Bit of red. Red's always a great colour against greens. Okay, so there we go. Just let that soak in a little bit while we work on some foreground now. I'm not using any, well, I don't think I am. The flow medium has got a bit of hydrocarbon-based warning flammable, so petroleum distillates. So I've got to be careful with that because of the breathing problems I've had from one of the solvents I was using for a brush cleaner. So anyway, lungs are clear. Just left with the COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. I think that's a catch-all phrase for non-specified, but that's for years of breathing in carpet dust. Right, I'm using another brush here now. I want to get a bit of a light horizon. I'm not making a very difficult painting here. A bit of flow. Good bit of red in. Thing is, keep everything soft and blended. The walnut oil mixed with a bit of alkyd is not petroleum based. It's a very good mixer. And a bit of red. It's a lovely day in London. It's about time. We've had some lousy weather. Spring has delayed. But I'm going to be cooking a curry in the garden on a gas burner. Now we're going downhill there, that's right. Just let that all blend in. That's lovely oil painting. Let's have a bit of mauvey stuff in there. Bit of shadow. Just reminds me of our bike rides along the River Wanderlei every Tuesday, where we go on the boardwalk through Morden Hall Park. It's a lovely park. Shadow, I'm going to put pond in. It's called the Wetlands, and it's a very, very lovely nature reserve, which we love, photograph, paint from. Okay, let's get a bit more dark in there, a bit of darkish green. Blue, red, black, bit of cadmium yellow, pale. Okay, that's doing all right. Right, let's go back to the sky now, where that dries off a little bit. Plenty of cloth, and I'm not cleaning the brushes in any solvent. I'm just using a rag and just to clean the bristles, and I'll clean them at the end in Swarfiga and then finish off with a, oops, come apart. That's okay. I'll get a bit of my PVA bond and just stick that ferrule in the glue. Stuff I usually use for priming and varnishing. Stick it in there like that, and push the ferrule back in on the stem on the brush itself. Get a bit of tissue, clean off the shaft of the brush. And there we have, we've repaired the brush. Just give it a good twist so it's really nice and in there. Clean off any of the stuff that squeezes out and PVA glue that seizes out. Put the lid back on your PVA. I buy this by 2 litre pot at a time. What was that? How much is in there? 2.5 litres. Half a gallon. Right, let's go and do a bit of sky now. Bit of flow, plenty of colour. We don't want white clouds. Let's just blend all this. I'm always aiming for some sort of impressionist picture. I've done all the graphic stuff over the years and the Venice paintings, which were very, very interesting. I learnt a lot, but with this oil, you can keep going over until you get some sort of mystery. Just 3 colours. The black is, I'm not going to include that in the colour range. It's not really, I suppose it's colour, but we want some nice lights and complementary colours to the greens, which is red. Alright, let's just blend all that. A bit of flow medium. Now there always comes a bit time in the picture where you lose it. It goes away from you. You have to expect that. Alright, let's just get in some of this cloud over there. Work our way up to the top again. Thickening the paint as we go. You go over that, see the paint's drying there. I much prefer this to acrylic, but the acrylic is non-toxic. There's a bit of red in that sky there. Just lose that there. Thinking of doing a sort of pointillist picture in the style of Arthur Madison. I work from him, not from his actual paintings, but his style and the colours that he gets in his wonderful landscapes. He's on, you can Google him, you will enjoy what he does. He used to paint very, very small strokes, but I think over the years he realised, like Seurat, that there are easier ways to do things that don't take so long. Okay, we can put some of those lovely mauves back in this. But it's a good exercise in seeing how far you can go with just a limited palette. Now they will look lighter, those colours, when I put the darks back. Let's go back into that foreground a little bit. Just a bit of blue and a bit of red. Bit of oil. So you need darks to make your lights look lighter. It's quite a rough paper, but it gives a nice tooth. And it's probably 100% rag content, which is good because it will be durable. Constable's sketches and sketches on watercolour paper are as vibrant 200 years later than as when they painted them. I've seen the Constable one several times in the Victoria and Albert Museum. Right, swig of tea. Going downhill a bit, but I can reinstate that with putting some more dark on the horizon, which I'll do now. Bit of blue, bit of red, plenty of red, and then just come down there. And also this gives you an opportunity to soften, go from lost and found. More red in there. I can put highlights on that afterwards. So this is a sort of memory of Morden Hall Park, but in the summer, or spring, with all the lovely greens. That'll do. Let's just soften along here. Quite a simple picture, this. So if you've not tried oil painting, have a go. It's wonderful. Well, all art is wonderful. Okay. Right, let's just have a look at this, see where we're going. There's a bit of a light spot in the middle there. Let's go back and start putting in some of the darks back. So red and blue and white. Keeping the black out of the sky. Impressionism, it's just I suppose it is a catch-all phrase, isn't it? If it's not photorealism, it's impressionist. See how lovely this blends, merges. On a Facebook page called British Impressionists. It's a lovely channel started by Jocelyn Roberts a while back. It's got quite a few members and it's not exclusively British, but it is exclusively Impressionist. So if you're a photorealistic painter, beware. There are plenty of opportunities for you guys to show your wonderful abilities, but not on the Impressionists. How are we doing? That's okay. Okay. Let's just lighten a bit of that. Make your clouds of silver, not of lead. Now I'm going to put some lights back into there. I can't see that corner because the light from a Velux window above is shining in that. So I'll just put a bit of dark in there. let that nurdle a bit. Go back onto the land, onto the salt marsh, well not salt marsh, the wetlands. There are loads and loads of reeds, tall thatching type reeds. Get the light colour brush and we'll mix a bit of the walnut oil with a bit of alkyd in. Have a bit of green in there. Look at that lovely green. That's the black doing that. It's fabulous colour. Very versatile. Don't ever underestimate the power of black, the usefulness of black. It just extends your range of colours. If you overuse it, of course, you're going to have difficulty. But I'll just keep going over that. Bit of oil. Let's have a bit of red. Oh, nice warm colours. Kill the ground. I wouldn't believe there's a watercolour under there, would you? But it lives again. So don't throw the ones you don't like away. Give them a new lease of life by using a bit of oil. Right, let's get some nice dark in here. I want it much darker in that foreground. I'm overdoing the oil because it builds up a lovely underpainting. But if you do it right, it shows through the subsequent coats. It's like continuous glazing. You can do a very good glazing with what we call retouch varnish. It's the initial coat of varnish you put on when the painting's touch dry, and it has to be, well, it can be varnished with proper durable varnish 6 months later, that sort of thing. There are technical problems, technical things to bear in mind. I've used my light brush there, haven't I? Never mind. Right, I'm going to give a nice reddy tinge to that background where it meets the trees. It's going across there, catching the tips of just catching the light, what I meant to say. Oh, I love, when the weather's nice, being out in the garden, cooking. But a fish curry, eh? King prawns and some more solid fish with friends, a bottle of wine or two, write the rest of the day off. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I'm quite pleased with that. So let's go in with lighter greens. I'm not going to do any detail on this. I'm just applying washes of colour. Bit of detail on the trees, of course. I'm going to get round to it. A bit more in the sky. Now, in here, there'd be lots of water. Reflecting the sky. So let's see what happens if I try and put a bit in. We haven't seen any frog spawn this already. Yeah, we look for it. You know that's water because I've told you. Now we want some dark. Show the reeds. Oh God, I really do love doing this. Now, not great art, but I think my motto is keep it simple, stupid, kiss. Bit more red. At the moment you can see houses and suburbia, the other side of the trees. They will disappear as the leaves come. A bit more red in there. Red being a complement of green makes everything sing a little. These are supposed to be the lovely reeds coming up into the light, catching the seed heads of these grasses. I'm just touching the brush. The stickiness will take the paint off and it'll give the individual bristles marks. A bit darker there. Okay, go back with some of that sky colour in here. Keep the bristles going the same way, slightly pinky. The sky, a bit more in here. And the boardwalk. Right, let's just get that nice and dark along here. I'm not going to answer him. Wife's gone out, she's gone to get some prawns. I don't answer the phone when I'm painting. They can leave a message. I don't suppose Vincent would have answered the phone, would he? Right, now then. Back to the sky now. Get some lights back in there. Bit of red, yellow and white. Bit of oil. Poking through here. Good direction to it. This is all very abstract, but it's just creating an effect rather than a representation of anything that actually exists. It's the enjoyment of just painting, really. I don't want to say that often, but But it's true, it's just the magic of it. Got a bit of green in there, but not bothered too much where the light's coming from. Oh, I quite like that. Let's put in a little bit of light green now, catching some of this light on those trees. Just open the tips out. Look at that. Touch of red in there, I think. Bit of oil. No trunks or anything. Just the lightest touch. Just form rather than detail. So your imagination can fill in all the detail. Oh, we have a bit of light blue in there, I think. Touch of red, but a bit of mauve. Could indicate a bit of shadow. And if it doesn't look right, you can change it. Go over it again. Oh, some red. Remember the murk. So we've got, well, it looks like a lot of colour, but there are only 3 colours in there, well 4 with the black. But now we just want some white tips now, or just slightly off white. Just catching some ones sticking up, high ones. And then finally okay, let's just blend that a little bit. So the base of these reeds goes into the water as a reflection. I'll put it in a mound, see what happens. Okay. A little bit of just break up that flatness. A bit of light coming through. Right, mount could be tricky. This is much bigger than I normally paint, isn't it? Right, let's just put that in on there. Okay, so there we are. We've got a flatland, wetland, flat area, water table. Its bags are nothing really. It's just, but we've got sky. We've got very interesting sky. A lot of colour in it. But would you believe, from yellow, red, blue and a touch of black, most of the black's going to get thrown away. But it's an impressionist picture. You've got complementary colours, but that's about all, really. I don't want to put a windmill in, or a church maybe. It's just a simple scene, everyday walk in the country. You see it everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed that. I've just moved the camera back a bit. Sorry about the lumps and bumps. Not much you can do about that. Right, just alter that camera. There we go. Yeah, there we are. Okay, the wetlands. I won't photograph it in the mount. I'll get it as large as I can on my camera, and I'll post it on Facebook, my Facebook, Dave Usher Artist. Don't forget to look me up on Patreon. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye bye.